Live from the Sydney Football Stadium, welcome back. As this crowd, around 40,000 now, waits with high expectation to the start of Origin 94. The 40th playing of Origin football. It started way back in 1980. And they're here, a sea of sky blue, and the Maroons not to be outdone, although a little bit hard to find. An enormous night. It's become more than just a game of football. It's become a sporting must event. Entertainment has been going on here for some time. The fans, many of them arriving at the very last second. Many vacant seats up until just a few moments ago. The players wait. What's it like, Peter Sterling, at that point in time?
Well, it was interesting to hear Ben Elias talk about fear. There is fear then. Don't worry about that. It's the fear of defeat, the fear of embarrassment, and even the fear of getting hurt. You've just got to get that out of your mind, as he pointed out. Get on with the job. Plenty of nerves there, but it's been a long wait all day. Probably the last 24 hours has been the hardest. This particular moment couldn't have come around quick enough for these guys.
So Laurie Daly leads the New South Wales Tooheys Blues down the Sydney Football Stadium walkway. That will lead them out to be greeted by a crowd, as I said, around the 40,000 mark. And listen to the reception. They've won the last two series for themselves, for Phil Gould and their state. The champion 5'8", Laurie Daly, he leads them. The big man, Glenn Lazarus, used to playing with the Queenslanders. Tim Brasher hanging on to his #1 jumper. And Ricky Stewart pits himself against Alan Langer yet again. Roberts, the big number 10. He's been in superb form. Paul Harrigan, fresh from Jack and the Beanstalk. And I think it's that man's birthday, is it not? Paul Serenin. Will he celebrate? Terrible start for Paul McGregor. Smashed cheekbone at Alice Springs, and this is the man that has been under siege. He's the most experienced New South Wales player out there, Ben Elias. Of the run-on team, he's played 16 Origin games. His first back in 1985. He's got fellas like McCormick and Sidaris breathing down his throat. Rod Wisher, highest New South Wales point scorer since Mike O'Connor.
In fact, it always seems that Queensland are laid onto the playing strip. A little bit of psychological warfare going on from the Maroons.
Maybe a bit of last-minute strapping or something, Sterlo.
Oh, yeah.
No hurry to get out there. Plenty of time, 80 minutes ahead of us. There's some great rugby league played. Plenty of action. Might see a bit of biffo. Rabs.
Walker feels that way. He'd be the authority on that. Daly's out there waiting, saying where the hell have they got to? And here they come. The Maroons of Queensland, led out by one of the all-time greats, Mal Meninga. He's the only survivor from the 1980 clash, and he plays his 30th Origin game tonight, and he should get a rousing reception even from a pro-New South Wales crowd. Down the walkway and out there. Highest Origin point scorer, 157, and they bow and salute to the great man who will take the Kangaroos most certainly at the end of the year to England and make his 4th Kangaroo tour. Stevie Walters. Upon his shoulders, many people are relying. And young Renouf, surprisingly, only 3 Origins under his belt. Called by many the Prince of Centres. And talking of princes, here's Alan Langer there in the 7. 21st game tonight for Alan Langer. And that clash alone should be worth the price of admission. Langer and Stewart.
And the kicking game must come into that department as well between the two halfbacks. No doubt Ricky Stewart, the longer kicking game of the two. Alan Langer, the best short kicking game in the competition. I'm sure that you'll see that man, Ricky Stewart, trying to get good field position early in this game. Big 50, 60-metre torpedoes trying to drive Queensland into their own corners and make it difficult to get out.
So both teams coming now to face the member stand side of the ground. And the crowd goes up. Kick-off is only a matter of seconds away.
Made it a little bit tough for the players to sing along. Not a lot of harmony there in the New South Wales forward line.
New South Wales winning the first two matches in State of Origin for 1993. And interesting to note that of the last 12 Origin winners, the series that is, the team winning the first match have gone on to win 10 of them. There's the scores from last year. They have little consequence really in the minds of those that are ready to do combat in one of Rugby League's big battles. Youngest player ever to play Origin was Brad Fittler. Not so for Marty Bella. Miles of Rugby League yards behind him. Fourth Origin for Bill Harrigan, and we're underway at the Sydney Football Stadium. The first tackle of the match. It went sadly astray. Play by Ian Roberts. It was a soft play, the first. Lazarus gets it just beyond the 30-metre point. Pushed on for Stewart and across. Daly has opened them up already. Over the halfway line. Had he have looked inside, there was an opportunity.
Oh, Timmy Brasher was unmarked on the inside. He can sniff out a try, the fullback, as Meninga goes the blind side and pushes off Mackay and goes over the sideline. The New South Wales attacking when least expected from their own line. Third play of the game, a great cutout pass from Stewart. Put Daly straight through, and Willie Kahn took the all-important intercept.
Isn't that great defence there by young Brad Fittler? The great coaching by Phil Gould to see maybe a weakness in there from previous tapes.
So New South Wales already with one clean break. And almost a second, that was a half break. 30-metre line, centre of the ground. Storming onto it, New South Wales. Stewart. Daly inside. Mackay, oops. Looking at Harrigan, he says across the chest. Stewart again. Passes from Stewart are perfectly directed, but Harrigan knocks on. First scrum of the game.
Yeah, Harrigan knocked that one forward, aren't they? They're spinning the ball wide early and they're catching Queensland out. Good solid tackle there by Kevy Walters, forced the ball loose.
Just outside the 20-metre line, Queensland's end as we look at it from the high shot. New South Wales, a decided advantage in weight in the scrums. Renoff plays it now. Meninga attracting plenty of defence. Cross from Kahn, finding Larson. Steve Walters to dummy half. Langer with it. Bella wants it. He really pumps up for Origin football, Martin Bella. Been in good form as well. Almost played it the wrong way.
Well, Marty's copped the knock in that tackle. He's come up not knowing where he is. Head first into the turf there. He gets up, doesn't even look. What about that?
Maybe he's seen the writing on the wall, looking to change sides already, Fatty.
Oh, turn it up, Stella.
New South Wales onto the attack again, and a penalty. Queensland inside the 5. Still differential. Stewart to find it. And that's where he's found it, right on the 20-metre line. He wasn't looking for too much. Mackay, as big as any second row forward. Stewart across. Serenan hits it up. Centre of the ground, 12 out. Ben Elias, dummies right, comes left. They put on a set play. Stewart, Mackay, 10 metres out from the line. Stewart indicating we'll go to the air. The ball across. Roberts lumbers up to the 10-metre line again. 4 minutes gone. Stewart again, lofting the pass across. Daly for Fittler. Wishart is with it. Submits in the tackle. Hancock tries to put him over the sideline. Now they go to the air. They fly for it. The ball comes down. And Harrigan says play on, Maroons ball.
Very good defence from Queensland, especially the tackle from Michael Hancock on the far side on Wishart. New South Wales persisting with the long pass. That was always going to be a play, trying to take advantage of Ricky Stewart's great passing game. As Queensland get their first penalty for a play the ball infringement, and that takes off some pressure.
Sideline comment, Gary Belcher.
Plenty of concern, Ray, about the Queensland defence. Wally Lewis has sent down plenty of messages already via Chris Close. He's wired to his trainers. They've been on the field on a number of occasions.
Penalties at 1-1, early days in Origin 1. Tap taken 35 metres out. Bella crosses the 40-metre line, met and pulled down. Serenan, Fittler playing left centre, and Mackay wearing jumper 16, Brad Mackay. Coming into the side, of course, late to replace Bradley Clyde. Walters now waiting for Gillespie. Across the face of Langer, and a penalty against the Blues for being inside the 10. The man that's played more State of Origin football than anybody else.
I think we've seen both sides really trying to avoid that middle of the ruck stuff early in this game. Again, Queensland, they're going 2 passes wide. This time they go with Bella up the middle. I think that both teams do think that the danger places to attack are the fringe of the ruck.
Walters able to get his pass away, but only just in time. Andrew G struggles up towards the 20-metre line. Langer now across for Bella, the run around with the number 7. And then joining into the back line is Julian O'Neill. Played back for Michael Hancock under a cloud until yesterday. Across for Kevy Walters, and now for Mal Meninga. Trevor Gillmeister supported well. Renoff sees a bit of an opening, but it is shut 20 metres out from the New South Wales line. Walters across, his pass is ordinary. Langer picks it up on the bounce. Oh! Jolting tackle on Langer. He's all right, Alfie. Walters, ankle tapping tackle, desperate from Benny Elias.
And a great tackle there by Elias. Phil Gill will be happy with that one.
Sebastian now brings it back on the first play for New South Wales, and he's driven into the ground. Gillmeister was strong there. Serenan makes 10 metres out to the 30-metre line. Stewart again. Daly. McGregor wants it. That's him. Wishart, his Illawarra teammate. 40-metre line for New South Wales, their own end. New South appealing for a penalty. Stewart's pass for Serenan. He didn't really have himself wound up.
Now, at this end of the field, you really want to play flat. You want to hit the ball on the advantage line. Stewart goes the blind side with the kick. Julian O'Neill in perfect position. Brings the ball back 35 out from his own line.
He'd be the youngest player out there tonight, Julian O'Neill. Steve Roach on the sidelines.
Yeah, well, I can see the players, Robertson, Lazarus, and also Paul Serenan itching to get into these front-on tackles as Alfie Langer makes a big break.
Down to the 40-metre line, Steve, and the pass goes across the front of Willie Kahn.
Well, a lovely break there made by Alfie Langer after a good pass, I think, from Billy Moore. Put him into some space. He found the space up, away he went. The little legs are going hammer and tong. Looked outside. Kahn, I thought, was covered all the time by Mackay. Into touch.
Well, I can honestly say that I don't think we've seen as many breaks made early in the State of Origin game in the last decade. Both teams looking extremely dangerous with the ball. We pointed out that this was the first 10-metre rule game, the new rules, and that's being reflected in the way that these sides are playing, just looking to attack at every opportunity.
Mackay now takes it up to the Maroons defence, and a penalty goes to the Blues.
I think you He's got Andrew G for a high tackle there on Brad Mackay.
He certainly has, as we go back down to the sidelines for Steve Roach.
Yes, Ray, what I was trying to say is the players like Robertson, Lazarus and Seward itching to get into the defensive pattern for themselves. They can't. Queensland are just hitting two up and then spreading wide all the time.
9 minutes gone in the match. Players now settling down. His early nerves are gone. Elias with the tap. Lazarus goes up to meet them. Bella made the tackle. Roberts driven into the ground, a three-man crunching tackle from the Queenslanders. Elias for Stewart around the back of Serran, and Daly shows it. And inside goes Brad Fittler, but beautifully read by Gillespie. Penrith teammate these days. Brad Mackay tries to get down to the 10-metre line, almost succeeds. That's it, just in front of him. Stewart switching the point of the attack back for Daly. He puts the kick in, but it comes down to Queensland.
One of the best indications of which team is getting a little bit tired in defence will be the marker defence. Poor pass there from dummy half from Queensland. We saw Brad Mackay made an easy 10 metres there when there was only one marker. And with the likes of Elias and Steve Walters, the two best dummy half runners in the game, if they're slack around the marker area, they'll be made to pay.
Larson running into that rock-like shoulder of Ian Roberts. They're inside the 20-metre line. The Queenslanders to ruck it out. Billy Moore. 10 minutes gone, no score. And Moore struggles to his feet to play it. Steve Walters ran straight over the top of Ben Elias. This is the last now for the Maroons. Not quite organised. It went out to the second receiver, Kevin Walters, to get the kick in. Wishart. He's been in great form, Wishart, in the Winfield Cup. Brasher, McGregor. 2-on-1. Brasher goes out to help him. He's away. Inside the 30-metre line, McGregor.
Two missed tackles there from Renoff, back to back.
Now Stewart. Long pass for Daly. Daly brought down by Gillespie. Gillespie's made a couple of great tackles. Stewart flicks it up for Serran. Now they're 15 out from the line. Elias for Stewart. Daly came off the head. Harrigan. And Hancock comes away for Queensland.
Yeah, dangerous for Queensland there. Harrigan was in a position he wasn't supposed to be off field. The ball was supposed to go out wider. And, you know, whenever the ball's going through the hands of Stewart and Daly, they're looking very dangerous, the Blues.
That would have made for an interesting ruling if Harrigan had to put a hand on it in the in-goal. I'm almost certain that it came off the upper part of the shoulders and head area. Penalty goes to Queensland. Bill Harrigan, chosen by the Queensland Rugby League to officiate in this game tonight.
I'd say Phil Gill would be a little bit disappointed that New South Wales have given away some penalties after they've had Queensland under all sorts of pressure and played good field position. That's a cheap way to allow Queensland out of their own half. You see here the tap being taken 44 metres out from their own line. So by the time we get through to 5 or 6, they're going to be well on the attack.
Bella. Just that one blemish on Martin's start to the game. He took a heavy knock. Wanted to play the ball the wrong way. Billy Moore, the North Sydney lock forward. Walters a dummy half. There's been a couple of ordinary passes out of there. Meninga looks to put Renoff through a gap. But Fiddler's defence has been superb in the early part. Meninga finds himself a dummy half. Across now for Kevin Walters. Away from Elias, the ball goes loose. And picked up by Ben Elias, but Harrigan will put down a scrum.
Well, he's seen a couple of knock-ons there. As Bill Harrigan, he's in pretty good position. A lost ball from Kevin Walters was the original offender, so you'd think this will be a New South Wales feed, and it is.
There's the total weight of the two packs. New South Wales with 20 kilograms more. Not that it probably is a great advantage in the modern game. 42 metres out from the Blues line. McGregor's the dummy half. Daly is with it. Turns it inside for Brad Mackay to be tackled right on the halfway mark. And so will they come back to the left now. Harrigan driven into the ground by Andrew G and Steve Walters. Ben Elias appeals for a penalty as they come back and away. Left for Stewart and on for Fittler, then for Daly. McGregor is with it now. McGregor well and truly ringed by the defence, and Mal Meninga prominent. Elias again. As we look down on it, 40 metres out, looking for the line is Stewart. And will he find it? Yes, he does. Allowed to go by Julian O'Neill.
Well, again, New South Wales find themselves down on Queensland's line. Really exerted a lot of pressure, but have not been able to convert that into points. And realistically, if there has been a problem out there, it's been in the centres for Queensland. Steve Renouf has missed a couple, and Mal raced up on Timmy Brasher from the last scrum win, and Brasher went through. It's an area they're going to have to address because there is some danger in the likes of Fittler and McGregor.
The 15 minutes gone in the game, and Willie Kahn takes the first play out. The scrums are 4-2. As it goes across, and Kev Walters uses Mal Meninga, throws the dummy, tries to trample through. One of the Blues went up and broke the straight line. Hancock it is doing the dancing, and he's tackled about 32 metres out from his own line. Played by Hancock, and Andrew G is the next one to offer his services. Sirenen low, and his Tiger teammate over the top. Walters away for Gillmeister. Gillmeister smothered by Lazarus. Roberts also involved in the tackle. That's the 40-metre line. Walters now looking for the halfway. Last tackle coming up for the Maroons. New South Wales, the series holders. They hold the shield. They have for the last 2 years. And those statistics suggest that it's good to win the first one of the series, because most of those teams go on to win the ultimate match in whatever year. 1994 we're looking at, State of Origin 1 and Good Evening Australia, wherever you're watching. And of course going across to other parts of the world of rugby league. New Zealand, England, and of course into America. Benny Elias, he sucks a penalty from Martin Bella. They'll shoot for line 43 metres out.
One of the great attributes of this Queensland side is their ability to absorb pressure, and they've had to do plenty of that in the first 15 minutes of this game. It's amazing how many times in the game of rugby league, when you've been under pressure, you're the team that puts on the first points. The Blues now another opportunity with 5 tackles up their sleeve.
Wishart is tackled on the 20-metre line. Elias comes across, and that's Sirenen out wide. They take a forward into them, trying to attract some defence out of the line. Stewart now folds in with the play they were working for. Couple of metres inside the 20-metre line. Roberts crosses the 10-metre line. Pressure for the Maroons. They've had plenty of it in the early part. Elias away for Stewart. Floats it on for McGregor. Renouf does well. The pass went to Wishart. I thought it was forward. He allows play to go, and Elias is put away.
Well, there was no problem with the defence of Steve Renouf there. Wishart's been hurt in the tackle. Now it's the last. Stewart puts the bomb up.
Stewart's kick is high, perfectly placed. The New South Wales centre got put out of play. This will be a penalty for mine.
Yeah, the touch does come screaming in. It was Timmy Brasher or Brad Fittler who was taken out by a Queenslander. Now, he wouldn't award a penalty try here, would he, Rabs?
No, but he'll give a penalty.
Just keep an eye on Fittler at the bottom of the screen there. And
he'll be obliged to give the penalty, I feel, adjacent to where the incident happened. And they'll bring it back as far as they like for the shot at goal or the tap.
I just wonder whether they'll take the tap here, try and keep this pressure going. They've called for Wishart, so it looks as though they will opt for the 2 points. There you saw Mal change direction to interfere with the chaser from the Blues. That was Brad Fittler. Wishart still feeling the effects of some heavy work on the far side. Steve Renouf came up with a pile driver.
I think they've changed their mind, Sterlo. This will be a tap. We'll put it out. They want to keep the pressure on Queensland on the ropes.
Well, Rod Wishart, he's been the key to this decision as they take the tap now. Mackay goes towards the centre. No shortage of goal kickers in the Blues team, but Wishart opted not to take it. Sirenen crashes up to them. 8 metres out from the line now. Harrigan wants the ball. Elias comes back. Stewart. Now Daly. Daly looking for that gap. 2 metres out, chance here. Blues try, I think. Yes. First try of the game. Who is it? Is it Roberts?
Ian Roberts is the man.
And have a look at the speed of the play, the ball. No, it's is it Paul Harrigan?
It's the chief from Newcastle who's got the try.
He got into dummy half here. A quick play, the ball from Laurie Daly. Some doubt about whether he actually got up to play it. And gets the ball down on the line. The referee was in great position. Plenty of Queensland defence there. But the speed of the play, the ball from Laurie Daly was the key factor.
Harrigan does excellent work here by Harrigan. The markers all over the place, no one there. Look at the brute strength of the man. Gets it down on the line, although there's a hand under there. Could be no try.
He's a giant.
Am I hoping?
Yes, you are indeed.
Okay.
Should be in the paper tomorrow. Paul Harrigan, his second Origin try. He got one last year at a crucial time at Lang Park. Wishart an easier kick now than the one that he may have had from the penalty.
So very much a Harrigan try. He was submerged under Maroon jumpers, and then it was left to the referee to be on the spot. Another Harrigan. This will be 6-0 in Origin 1. It is. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. 20 minutes of Origin 1 has gone. The New South Wales leading 6 points to 0. A try to Harrigan and converted by Wishart. On the sidelines, Gary Belcher.
Ray, plenty of work for the Queensland forwards here. And when they've got the footy, a few of them are looking for a bit of a break. We've seen New South Wales throw it out wide again. And a block, don't be surprised to see Fritz, Hone and Smith used soon by Coach Lewis.
Yeah, well, let's not write off the Queenslanders. Every Origin that I can remember, every time New South Wales score, they hit straight back. So expect Queensland to hit straight back.
Harrigan plays the ball. Elias gets it on for Stewart to clear. And Stewart's kick crosses the line 35 metres out. A quick confab between Stewart and Ben Elias, talking about the fate of the match thus far.
He didn't hit that one exactly right, Ricky Stewart, but he still found touch. The key decision, of course, before that try from New South Wales was the penalty awarded against Mal Meninga. Really can't look like he had a fair catch on the football, and that did come back to haunt them, that decision.
Harrigan warning the New South Wales backs to stay outside the 5 as Hancock comes back to be tackled 40 metres out. Langer finds himself at dummy half. The ball spears across the back line for Renoff. Well, Wally Lewis suggested that the Queensland backs would probably win the game for them, and that could exactly be what would happen in the final assessment of this game. But so far, it's been New South Wales prepared to throw it wide to the extremities. Players stretching on the sidelines now. Langer crosses the New South Wales 40-metre line. Last tackle coming up. Kevin Walters back and around Larson. No obstruction to the defence. There was no defence there. And this is Graham Mackay looking to offload, finding Brasher. Brasher almost out to his 20-metre line.
Well, once again, an ordinary kick there by Queensland. Their kicking game is totally disorganised. Something they've really got to work on very soon as Mackay nearly gets through.
You've got to give Elias a rap too for the work that he's doing against the kicker, really getting out of marker, putting a lot of pressure on Kevin Walters, who's had to rush his last 2 kicks.
Stewart along the line for Daly to clear this time. Of course, they're blessed with 2 fine kickers in general play in the shape of Stewart and Daly. It's very hard to defend against that or put charge down pressure on a team with 2 such qualified kickers. O'Neill plays it back on his own 20-metre line. Willie Kahn hammered over the top by Lazarus and also Roberts. Billy Moore As Queensland struggle their way out, Rod Wishart has come from the field now. Andrew Ettinghausen has gone onto the field. Steve Walters. Langer pushing it on. Meninga's with it. 40 metres out from his own line. Fifth tackle, 6-0 in favour of the Blues. Long pass across for Alan Langer. He kicks, but straight to Andrew Ettinghausen. He's only just taken the field. Becomes the most capped New South Wales player, Andrew Ettinghausen, with his appearance here tonight. And now Laurie Daly untangling himself from the tackle. A try for Paul Harrigan, converted by Rod Wishart, who's now off the field, getting some attention, replaced by Andrew Ettinghausen. And across, a long ball from Stewart for Daly, and then McGregor. McGregor tries to get around them, turns one of his teammates inside. Played out there by Brasher. Stewart in position and waiting for it. Stewart's passes have been so accurate. Roberts tries to break free from a tackle. Ben Elias. Stewart again. Goes for the drop goal. And I fancy just wide it is. So back to the 20-metre line for the restart.
Not a bad ploy to go for the point there, to put 7 on the board. It means that Queensland would have to score twice. He's having a fine game, Ricky Stewart. The fact that he can throw the ball so wide creates space for his outside men.
Oh, he's having a great game, Stewart. He's doing some things out there like filling in when there's gaps as far as defence is concerned. Here's a go now. The Blues are on a roll. Elias comes up with the footy.
That's a great play by Benny Elias. Gives New South Wales possession. Stewart on for Daly. Daly's got Brasher with him, but Daly able to get it out the back now. Fittler goes on a run. Met by Larson. Pops it up for Lazarus. Lazarus pulled down. 12 metres out from the line. Elias comes back. Sirenen goes up. Bumps off one. Pops it out for Brasher. Across for Mackay. Graham Mackay back for Ben Elias. Elias gets it away. Daly is with it. Now Stewart. Stewart looks to promote. Pull down 12 out. Still more tackles to come. Roberts for Daly. Daly puts it in behind them. And over the dead ball line off the boot of Julian O'Neill.
Oh, scrambling defence from Queensland was great. They looked odds on to score New South Wales, but somehow the Maroons, they regrouped. You can see plenty of tired players out there. The Blues looking to keep the ball alive at all costs. A big charge from Sirenen here, offloaded to Brasher. They looked on the far side, and the next play, the ball, that they were very short, the Maroons. Somehow they got troops there. They've now got to weather the storm again. The kick from Laurie Daly, forcing another set of 6 from the dropout.
He's been their best forward, Juror, hasn't he? 10 hit-ups for the big man. He's having a stormer.
Big job for Julian O'Neill. Oh, he doesn't get a big kick in, and Daly takes it low down. The first tackle comes 15 out. Tremendous field position for the Blues. Harrigan. He's already scored 1 try. 5 metres out from the line. Stewart. Long pass. Fittler. Around the back. McGregor. Flick passes. Fittler. Mackay. The ball is razzle-dazzle. Mackay is tackled. Ben Elias now. They need to keep pumping away at this Queensland line. The Maroons have taken enormous pressure. McGregor. The ball goes loose. And he'll put a scrum down.
Try saver from Renouf. Somehow the ball came loose. It looked as though McGregor was going to be able to get outside Renouf.
Man on the outside unmarked, I thought, Sterl. Look at this. ET's unmarked out there. He might have scored, I think, with the footy in his hands.
Michael Hancock, the invisible man.
So the scrum will take the pressure off for Queensland, and Alan Langer, he knows that. He slowly comes round to service the scrum.
Well, it's almost amazing to think that New South Wales are only 6 in front with the weight of possession, the field position they've been able to play. Under enormous pressure, basically for the whole game so far, the Maroons. I can't remember when they've been down the other end, 10, 15 metres off the Blues line.
It's really been a tribute to their work, hasn't it, to see the scoreboard 6-0 only against them.
Fresh legs on there now for the Maroons. Mark Hone has come on for Marty Bella as Gilly hits one up.
20 metres out from his line, played by Trevor Gillmeister. The Queenslanders down by a converted try, but they've spent the major part of the first half in their own half. Meninga promotes for an opportunity for Khan. Khan goes back in field. Khan runs around them. Khan goes to the 30-metre line. O'Neill supports him. 5 tackles gone now. O'Neill held down by Serenan. Harrigan's patience was tested. Langer runs to the defence line. It came off Daly, and it's dived on there by Roberts.
Well, it was beautiful work from Mal Meninga as they get a penalty, Queensland, and take the quick tap.
Walters across for Meninga. He'll stand and offload. He does for Kevin Walters. He does likewise. Picked up on the half volley by G, and he's tackled. 18 out from the line, right in centre ground. A chance for Queensland now. Steve Walters for Mark Hone. Hone is put away. 12 metres out from the line. Walters to dummy half again as they go left. And a face ball across for Billy Moore. He's tackled by Paul Serenan. And again Serenan hangs on. Walters back for Langer now. Langer puts the step on. Turns it back. Walters away for Renoff. Then Meninga. Now O'Neill. And Julian O'Neill gets the first Queensland try.
Yeah, sensational work there from Queensland. Their second set of 6. They took advantage. Mal Meninga put Willie Khan away down the right-hand side of the field. That was about 5 or 6 rucks ago, but on this occasion, great work from Alan Langer to step a couple of players. This pass was important to Renoff. You just see that Fittler was forced to come in, so too Graham Mackay, and he had some work to do, Julian O'Neill.
And the great courage of Queensland on their own line for 20 minutes. Only one try against them, and O'Neill finishes off out wide. A missed tackle there by Fittler, which allowed Renoff to unload the footy.
You'll see here that with Alan Langer going back infield, the New South Wales defence is forced in. We freeze play there. You see Renoff coming at the angle. This is Brad Fittler. What about the space out here? Graham Mackay's there somewhere as play continues. The fact that Fittler has come in means that there must be an overlap. Mackay is forced to come in as well. Although there were 2 New South Wales defenders, Julian O'Neill had the space.
So Queensland strike back, and as Paul said, they'd been parked in their own backyard for 20 minutes. And that's a conservative estimate from Paul Vaughton. 9 minutes to go in the first half as Wally just leaves his spectator vantage point to have a yarn with Martin Bella. 6-4. And the attempted conversion to come from the try scorer. 21 metres out from the Blues line. It all started from a kick put on by Alan Langer, which came off the legs of Laurie Daly, and then I must say I thought the New South Wales forward came from onside to dive on the ball. It was a very interesting passage in the game, but things happened so quickly from there, it was impossible to analyse just what had happened. Maybe the Blues won't be happy about it. Julian O'Neill, the youngest player in Origin 1, and he's just missed it. So New South Wales leads 6 points to 4 with 8 minutes of the first half to go. .6-4 in favour of the Blues, both sides having scored a try. Harrigan for New South Wales and O'Neill for Queensland. Let's go down to the sidelines. Gary Belcher.
Don't you just love the silence of a Queensland try here in Sydney, Fatty? Wally Lewis has warmed up his other 3 reserves, and you could expect to see them on soon. And Blocker's got the latest here on Rod Wishart.
Yes, Rod Wishart has bruised ribs, which leaves the New South Wales side without a goal kicker. I think it might be Benny Elias. David Gillespie warming up on the sideline. I think he'll take Ian Roberts' place.
Okay. I think they probably would opt for a Graham Mackay if Wishart doesn't come back, and it sounds the way Blocker's talking, he's not coming back. 25 metres out from their own line. Larson is put away.
The lead up to that Queensland try was down the right-hand side of the field with the ability of Mal Meninga to draw in a couple of defenders straight through here. Julian. No, it's Trevor Gillmeister trying to force the pass. New South Wales cleaned up, but they were busted very easily there. 2-on-1, and Gillmeister came out the other side.
Ball played by Paul Sirenen. And really the Queensland try that Peter's talking about could have come earlier had it not been for the efforts of Sirenen. The Blues then on the halfway line. Lazarus pinches about 10 metres of ground and takes it to the 40-metre line. Ben Elias giving it for Stewart. Stewart holding his pass back, finding Daly, then Mackay. Mackay is able to get a pass out the back for Brasher. Brasher put down by Steve Walters and Gary Larson, and McGregor's a dummy half now. 40-metre line on your screen. Daly angling Harrigan back towards the blind side, and Mackay makes a knock on.
And the mistakes starting to come now from both sides. Players getting tired with only 5 minutes to go till half-time. It's been a big match. Plenty of work being done by both packs of forwards.
I think really that the New South Wales side, Paul, should be starting to maybe look to hit closer to the ruck. They've gone wide, they've had success, but the sliding defence of Queensland is now starting to awaken to that. They've spread their defence, which means that there is probably more space for the likes of Harrigan and Roberts closer to the ruck.
Michael Hancock put away just inside the 40-metre line, his own end of the ground. 6 points to 4. Kevin Walters deciding to have a run himself rather than pass. His brother behind him running out from dummy half, and that's the first real attempt we've seen from the best dummy half runner in the game, Steve Walters. He's taken play 5 or 6 metres into Blues territory. Meninga just brushing Ricky Stewart away. Meninga to play it now, centre of the ground, and a crucial part of the game, the last 5 minutes before either half-time or full-time. Renouf put down by McGregor. The last tackle, O'Neill looking for a call. It comes from Langer, and he goes across the ground, looking for Willie Kahn, who takes it and gets it back for Meninga. He tried to get a kick in, and Mackay had an opportunity, but it was very good thinking by Mark Hone.
Oh, pressure tackle there by Mark Hone. Mackay one-on-one there. If Mackay gets away, it's trouble.
So Brad Mackay plays it on his own 30-metre line. Stewart pushing it wide again. Daly out to his centre, McGregor. And that defence out there tonight has been very good from Steve Renouf. He had a couple of hiccups early in the game. 6 more tackles for New South Wales as Eddinghausen plays it now. Ben Elias calls for a quicker play the ball. Harrigan hits it up, and they're almost on the halfway line.
I think the defence of Queensland has sharpened up out wide. They were really stunned by the fact that New South Wales were prepared to go wide so early in the game. Third tackle, they made a bust. Graham Mackay puts the kick in, puts a little bit of pressure on O'Neill, who's forced to take the ball and does a great job. Will he have the speed? Yes.
He's away from Graham Mackay. He was so close to the touchline, Julian O'Neill. It was a great example of his talents and his ability to read just where he is at all times. He'll never know probably how close he was, but he seemed to. Just a blade of grass from the sideline, and he did it in all one motion and ran away from Graham Mackay to take us back to here. Gary Larson now. Couple of metres into New South Wales' area. Steve Walters, 6-4 in favour of New South Wales. Mark Hone is the fresh man on. And a penalty goes to Queensland. What will they do? Langer comes over and passes to Meninga to make the decision.
Well, they've got 2.5 minutes to go, and Queensland, this is normally their mentality. Put all the eggs into one basket and try and put the tries on board. I thought they might have gone for goal there. 6-all at half-time would have been sensational for them. I suppose if they can score that try after what they've endured in this first half, they would be well satisfied.
Played by Hone. Langer came from the blind to give a pass that really looked questionable. Gary Larson is tackled so close to the line. They'll go to the left to Langer. A long pass finds him. He tries to dance away from Stewart. Gets the pass to Billy Moore. Then for Kevin Walters. He's ringed by the defence, and Stewart has to make the tackle. Walters looks for Langer again. Langer. Gary Larson. Larson. 3 or 4 metres out, tackled by Brad Mackay. Close to half-time. Langer across. Finds Gillmeister. Flicks it out the back. Came off a New South Wales player. And the pressure comes off the Blues.
And Trevor Gillespie trying just a little bit too hard there. As Laurie Daly looks out wide, finds McGregor. No, he doesn't use him. Gilly just needed to hang on to this football. And now New South Wales get a penalty on top of that, so the pressure's right off the Blues.
Just inside 1.5 minutes to half-time. And that was the penalty. It was against Billy Moore for hanging on too long in the tackle. So this penalty will find the line off the boot of Ricky Stewart about 35 metres out. That's where it is. Penalties of 5-all. Just this set of 6, barring mistakes, and will be at the break. Played by Lazarus. Or was it? No, he's lost it. No, he's got the penalty.
Yeah, Bill Harrigan looked to his touch judge there. Got the nod. So now a little bit more pressure on the Queensland here. They've got to hang on just for another, 40-odd seconds. The Blues looking to put one on before half-time.
That's an amazing touch finder. Accidental though it may have been. Here they come, right on half-time. Harrigan lost it. Did the ref see it? It comes away for Stewart. Switches the point of the attack. Daly. Just outside 10-metre line. Mackay. He's held and put away by the Maroons. 13 seconds to go. First half coming to its close. Stewart puts the grubbing kick through. Brasher goes in, but he's offside. No try. And I take you back to the Harrigan incident where he appeared to knock on in the tackle. Maybe justice has been done.
Well, what a marvellous piece of play. Unfortunately ruled offside for them. There's still play to go. Queensland get a penalty out of it. Now let's have a look and see if he's offside. Walters rushes up out of the line. Here comes the kick. I think he was onside. Offside.
There's absolutely nothing in it. Keep in mind the touch judge and the referee had a split second to make their judgment. They ruled in favour of Queensland, and now they've indicated half-time. New South Wales leading Queensland at the break in Origin 1, 6-4. A break and then we're back with Kenny Sutcliffe and Peter Sterling. And welcome back to the Sydney Football Stadium for the second half coming up of Origin 1 between New South Wales and Queensland, with the Blues leading by 2.64. Crowd settling, just waiting for them to come back. And a very controversial ending to that first half it was. Paul Harrigan, firstly, you may have heard me call what I thought was a knock-on in the tackle. It was this tackle. Let's watch it. And he goes to ground. There is no doubt it's a knock-on. It went unnoticed, I won't say by the referee, but by the touch judge on the left. And then play went on to this further controversial moment. And is Brasher offside? I say no. But then again, when you go back to what Harrigan did, then one equals out the other, in my opinion.
Well, I thought he was definitely onside, so no luck there for the Blues. Could have been a very handy lead, 10-4 or 12-4 at half-time.
I think you'll find that Bill Harrigan actually got the word from the touch judge. He was the man that made the decision. Harrigan was closer to the defensive line of the Queensland side, which made it a little bit more difficult to assess the situation.
Yeah, but if the same touch judge had have seen the knock-on, we wouldn't have arrived at that situation anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was.
So this crowd now just waiting for a fairly lengthy half-time break. Let's go down to the sidelines and see what's come from the dressing rooms. Gary Belcher and Steve Roach.
Yeah, well, Phil Gill was very happy with his side. It's just a little bit disappointing. A couple of times they got in try-scoring potential and they gave away penalties when they had the team right down on their line. He said, keep your option open. Every time we spread the ball wide to Laurie Daly, someone's got to take the initiative and take them on. He said, back your ability, fellas. There's still 40 minutes left in this match, and I want to see you play for the full 40 minutes. Roberts is off with a hamstring injury, and Barnhill is on. This is his first Origin game. Good luck to him.
Wally Lewis is proud of the Queenslanders' efforts so far. Although his markers were a little bit lazy early, they have certainly improved. He said New South Wales are playing a similar game to them. The Queenslanders must watch out for squeezing out that extra pass. They've made some good breaks, but spoiled some good work. His kicking game it has improved for the Queenslanders. It needs to improve more by using alternative kickers, and conversely, more pressure must be put on Ricky Stewart's kicking game. Early, he just wants them to work for field position, keep it very simple.
So Mal Meninga takes the Maroons out for the second half. They're down by 2 points. And David Barnhill is out there now for the Blues. His Origin debut. Ricky Stewart, who's been steering them round the paddock. David, the son of the Country Rugby League boss, comes from down in the heart of the Murrumbidgee, really Australian rules territory, I suppose. He cut his teeth down at Yanco Agricultural College, plays with the St George Club, had a very good match for country against City about 2 or 3 weekends back. Laurie Daly and Bill Harrigan have time to exchange a little joke. I don't know whether it's a laughing matter. And the king goes back to his castle to watch the second half, and it's underway. Second half of State of Origin 1 in front of a packed house at the Sydney Football Stadium. The Maroons now working it away to their own 20-metre line, and a Harrigan reception party. Crunching tackle on Meninga. This is Andrew G. Ball comes loose and a chance comes for the Blues early. Sheridan will play it. He's been a tower of strength for them. Stewart across for Daly. Angling back in as Brad Mackay. Elias, a dummy half, pushing Brasher out of the road. Barnhill said, give me a touch. Let me get rid of these nerves. And he takes it to the 20-metre line, David Barnhill, for Ben Elias to scoop it away for Ricky Stewart, who pushes it on for Brad Fittler. Then into the hands of Laurie Daly, who takes on Alan Langer and Billy Moore and comes off second best as Walters comes over the top. Elias again, a short pass up for Fittler. Fittler working close to the ruck this time. And they're 15 metres out as the high shot shows you. Elias, a short pass up for Stewart. Then back for Daly. The grubber kick came off the Maroons, and that's play on for Alan Langer. Langer's brought down 35 out from his own line.
Well, the plays that were working for New South Wales in the first half have been well and truly countered by Queensland now. Both Daly and Stewart are being closely marked. The outside defence of Queensland is very, very solid at the moment. See Kevin Wallace here with yards to eat up, finds Meninga on the inside, and the longer this game goes, for mine, the better the Maroons look.
Steve Renouf now. They've worked to him a few times. It hasn't really been a match for Steve Renouf thus far, but I'm sure that opportunity will come in the last 20 minutes. It'll come for this man too, Steve Walters, who likes to run from dummy half late in the game. Willie Kahn puts it down under the tackle of Graham Mackay.
Well, that was a great opportunity there for Queensland to do something with a footy. Brad Fittler went for an intercept. I couldn't believe it. Watch Brad Fittler sprint out of the line going for the intercept. That's a no-no in the modern game of rugby league.
So the Blues will get the scrum feed. And of course they win the scrum, and Graham Mackay comes away off the left wing just outside the 30-metre point. 6-4 the score in favour of New South Wales. A try for Paul Harrigan, converted by Rod Wishart prior to him leaving the field. And then Julian O'Neill scored a try for Queensland, which he failed to convert from the sideline. Ben Elias thrusts the ball back, fortunately into the hands of Ricky Stewart. Laurie Daly finds himself in traffic, and he's put away there over the top by Billy Moore. Andrew G underneath. Benny Elias again working it to the left as Sirenen goes lumbering up to the 45-metre point.
And they're the kind of charges that New South Wales need at the moment. They've lost the plot for the time being as Stewart on the last just gets the kick in front of the Gary Larson attempted charge down. I don't think they're establishing anything up the middle of the ruck, New South Wales, and that's not opening anything up out wide as Julian O'Neill makes another great run. That's 3 defenders he's beaten before linking with Renouf.
Here's a familiar sight. Renouf charging up the left-hand side of the football stadium. McGregor had to clean it up because it was his problem at the outset. He was the one that missed Julian O'Neill. Now it's Langer. Offloading for Gillespie to take a heavy tackle from Sirenen. Walters goes in for dummy half to go right again. Mark Hone, he's done nothing wrong, and he crosses the halfway line. That's where they are. Across now for Alan Langer. Or it's Gary Larson from the high shot. It looked like Langer. Larson to play it. Walters is the dummy half. And Queensland starting to grind into gear. Ooh, big Tackled by Sheridan over the top of Billy Moore. And Laurie Daly was underneath it, feeling the impact. Langer across for Kevin Walters, and he just waits the ball down inside the 20-metre line. Brasher, what an awesome sight. Mal Meninga bearing down on top of you.
Oh, he got smashed too, Brasher, but he did a good job. He didn't panic in the situation. You can see the Queenslanders, that they've risen now. They can feel it. They can sniff something out there. They can feel that New South Wales really are struggling at the moment.
Have a look at that. Big Mal charging down on Brasher. That's like standing on a railway line with the Southern Aurora coming at you. Now the Blues. Mackay and Barnhill. The St George combination. Then for McGregor, now for Daly. And they're on the 40-metre line on the opposition end of the ground. Referee Harrigan gives Queensland the penalty.
Well, he's saying that Laurie Daly has put the football down to play it and then picked it up in the ruck. Daly's appealing that the ball was knocked out by the Queensland player and should have been his penalty. Let's have a look. Trying to get up to play the ball. He's put the ball down. There's no way that he can get up.
Daly's placed the ball on the ground in the endeavour to play it. Well, this seems like a tough call on the Blues. I can't imagine what Bill Harrigan has ruled.
Well, he's ruled that he picked the ball up after placing it down to play, so he's handled the ball in the ruck area.
Well, geez, it's a tough call, isn't it? Well, another sloppy play, the ball.
6 again.
And we're just outside the 30-metre line, New South Wales end of the ground. Langer a dummy half, cuts out Larson, works wider, looking for Billy Moore. 25 metres out from the line. And a bit of pressure here for the Blues. Larson. He's not going to submit, now he has to. 45 minutes gone. New South Wales by 2. They go to the right with Andrew G. Met by Sirenen and Barnhill. G comes crumbling down to the ground. Right on the 20-metre line. Walters it is coming left. Langer. Kevin Walters. Inside for Mal Meninga. Barnhill struggles to take him. Langer goes away, gets behind them. Khan stops and props. Khan comes back and taken front on by Ben Elias. Steve Walters on the last. Langer, the pass to ground. Hone it is tackled, and that should be the turnover.
Well, once again, a wrong option taken there by Queensland on the 5th tackle. The ball should have gone up. They had a mile of room out to the left. Simple fact of going the wrong way here. I felt plenty of New South Wales defence there.
So as we come back to it direct, New South Wales are on their 2nd tackle. Brasher's played the ball, so they see Stewart running across, looking for runners, and they took the dummy from Stewart. 30-metre line. Graham Mackay across for Fittler. Long ball on for Daly. A little juggle from him. Then he pushes on for McGregor. But that's been a great confrontation out there. And Renoff, after a couple of misses early, has really had McGregor all tied up. Harrigan on 5. Ben Elias away for the kicker. Stewart's kick kept low, bouncing up on the 20-metre line for Julian O'Neill. The Queensland try scorer. Put away by Paul McGregor. 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Renoff serves it up. Michael Hancock. Brought down by Barnhill and Elias. The hand goes in from Elias, trying to rake the ball out. Not much percentage in that, really. Not at this stage of the game. 32 minutes left and leading by 2 points. Right on the halfway line. It's home with the ball now. Crossing the halfway, running into Harrigan and Mackay. Brad Mackay has been tireless in the game. Steve Walters finding Willie Khan. Khan almost at the 40-metre line. This is the last.
Well, all the forwards have been tireless in this game as the ball goes to Langer. A little one in behind, but there's a lot of New South Wales cover there. Tim Brasher comes up with the football. Just wondering how long it will be before we see the likes of David Gillespie injected into the game, along with Darren Fritz and Darren Smith. A lot of petrol being used up by both sides, and fresh legs at the end of this game are going to be vital.
McGregor. Blues bench. A lot of experience on there. But I just got the funny feeling that Queensland might have that game breaker you're talking about sitting on their bench. I'm referring, of course, to Darren Smith. And if not him, what about Mark Coyne?
Yeah, two great runners of the football. Good kick there from Ricky Stewart. That was an important one as well. I really think that for New South Wales, their major headache at the moment is their lack of support play. Stewart on a couple of occasions now has really looked for players to link with, and they've dropped off. That wasn't the case in the first 20 minutes.
Remember when Stewart made a break 5 minutes ago? All he needed was one man on the outside. Gray Mackay was asleep. If Mackay's there on time, would have been nearly a New South Wales try.
Let's take a sideline comment from Blocker Roach.
Yeah, there's been only one New South Welshman in the support all the time, Timmy Brasher. He's been supporting about 9 times. Look, he's going to go up on 10 occasions. He might get just that one that'll break the game.
Scrums are locked up at 5 points all. Or 5 scrums apiece, I should say. And won by Queensland.
That's one of the hardest things to do in the game, is to continue going up and coming up empty, and that's why Brasher is such a good support player. So too so many of the Queenslanders as well. They're prepared to go up there off the shoulder. As you point out, Steve, it's that one vital one that might just prove the difference between the two sides at the end of the day.
Queensland then, their turn to bring it away from their danger zone. And Gary Larson is about 25 metres out from his own line. Across for Alan Langer to push it on for Renoff. Daly went up, got him around the shoulders. It probably looked a little bit more spectacular than it was. Now Mick Hancock. Barnhill and Lazarus making the tackle. And this is the last coming up now as it goes across for Langer to put the kick in, bouncing down towards the 30-metre line. That's Brasher with it. And nobody back with Brasher. And here's a problem for Mick Hancock. Stewart pushing it on. Mackay got into the back line. Daly on for McGregor. McGregor's pass, oh, that's a shocker for Eddinghausen. Now the Blues have taken it over the line as the ruling.
Well, they saw the space there with Hancock out injured. They tried to utilise it, but in the end, a pretty ordinary attempted pass by Paul McGregor was always going to be a pressure pass to ET.
But nobody committed a player, did they, Paul? They had an overlap there, but by passing the football without going to a player to commit the defender, they nullified that. In the end, it was pressure on the winger trying to catch the football.
No addition to the score line since the break. 6-4 to the Blues as Meninga probes for an opening to present itself. Sirenen putting him down. Khan serving it up. Hone takes it ahead. Mackay is there to make the tackle. Walters on for Gillmeister. Elias and Harrigan, they make the tackle. That's how far out they are. They're in the centre of the ground as Meninga waits this ball into the corner. Here comes Khan. Oh boy, how close was that?
Oh, that's a chase between the speed men. It was a beautiful little kick. Willie Khan on the fly, and Tim Brasher had a lot of ground to cover. He's onside, Khan. Brasher wasn't even in shot. Gets there at the same time. Doesn't get much closer. The line dropout, so Brasher's been ruled to have touched it last.
So, pressure will come back on the Blues now. Willie Khan, he had a mile of ground to cover in relation to Brasher. The race of the speed men. Renoff, he gets the opportunity to take the first play back. Away from 1-2 and tackled in the third. 25 out from the line. Queensland, to the right they go. Andrew G bumping away from one, looking to offload. 15 out from the line. Again, they're in the centre. Langer to the 10-metre line. Here's an opportunity. Kevin Walters is tackled. 2 metres out from the line. His brother a dummy half. A long ball for Langer. Then the angle for Gillmeister. He's brought down. 2 metres out. Steve Walters might be tempted to go himself. It's with him now. Now Langer holds it back. Meninga across for Hone. Hone runs into the defence. Gets it back to Meninga. Meninga gets it away for O'Neill. But it's picked up by Ben Elias.
Wonderful defence there by New South Wales. Queensland throwing it around all over the place, and the defence just kept coming for the Blues.
You won't see better tackles from Glenn Lazarus here. He comes up with 2 tackles in a row. That's the close-in work. He does that tackle, then he goes on to Mal Meninga and pushes him back. Outstanding.
Ben Elias out on the 40-metre line. Brad Fittler. Change made for New South Wales. That's David Gillespie on in 17. And Paul Seranen has come off. So Coach Phil Gould is keen to keep the defence rate nice and high. Keep it tight in the centre. Hancock. A lot of ground. Then for Langer. No touch by Langer. And he's on his own 40-metre line. Meninga. Gilmeister. Short passing. Larson. Elias trying to block the centre with Barnhill. He's been there all night, Benny. He's had to get a bit of help on occasions, but he's been there and put his body right on the line. Banged down is Billy Moore, and they're now on the halfway line. Steve Walters across now, picking up Julian O'Neill, and O'Neill is able to take it up 10 metres. Barnhill, he makes the tackle together with Harrigan. Steve Walters off now for Alan Langer, calling for it on the right. Then on for Kevin Walters. The bouncing ball, it's with Willie Kahn. And a three-man New South Wales tackle, but it's a penalty to the Blues. He's ruled that Kahn was offside and that Renouf got a touch on the ball.
Yeah, the pressure pass is starting to come now. Ordinary pass there. Hit Renouf on the legs and went forward to Willie Kahn. This pass from Kevin Walters going to no one, really. And there was the offside.
Well, this is what State of Origin is all about now. 3/4 of the way through the game. The test of character is what is going to determine this game. There are occasions now where the body is not willing, but you've just got to make the effort to get there. Elias is out on his feet. He's been great. Some of the work from marker to get to kickers, etc., has been outstanding.
Lazarus plays it 20 metres out, and here come the Blues with fresh man David Gillespie. 18 metres out from the line, working towards the centre. Ben Elias across for Ricky Stewart. The long pass out the back for Daly. Daly looking for the angle for Mackay. He's taken by Moore and by Larson. The Bears hunting as a pair. Ben Elias scurries back to the centre. 10 metres out in front of the uprights now. Fanned out both left and right. Stewart lets a decoy run go. Must have been very close to an obstruction. Hand in the air, 5 tackles. Daly puts it high. It's a monster of a kick, but it's too deep. And O'Neill for mine appeared to be outside the dead ball area. That's the ruling you'll find. Let's have a look at him. And he had 1 foot outside, and that means that he was behind the dead ball line when he left the field of play. So the ruling is correct. The restart from the 20-metre line. Sideline comment, Gary Belcher.
Ray Alfie Langer from here, you can see him urging his forwards just to get the yards up the middle. They've been going a bit sideways so far in this half. Really what they need is to go forward to get himself and Steve Walters some runs from dummy half.
I know we've mentioned a lot of the forwards for New South Wales. Look, from down here, Paul Harrigan, dead set out on his feet. I'd like a tackle count on him.
Well, we'll certainly muster that one up for you. That's not a problem, sir.
Well, he's done 23 tackles. He's 9 hit-ups. So he's had a fine game as Queensland on the last opt to run the football. Renouf taken by Graham Mackay, needed to be made.
O'Neill did well. He chimed in and put the kick in. Infield kick, but fielded by Brasher. Brasher puts his foot on the pedal. Comes 15 out from his line.
And the longer this game goes, the greater the impression for mine is that the next try scored in this game will be by the winning side after 80 minutes. Whoever can crack the defence now will get the ascendancy and they'll hang on.
Eddinghausen beyond his 20-metre line. The pace of State of Origin. It's incredible how, when you look at Winfield Cup, and that's a great game, but when they come to Origin, they go up another gear.
That's because they're the best players, Rabs. The 30 best players are on show tonight. Stewart, he's having a great game. And Alfie Langer's lifted. Oh,
now
penalty.
Harrigan's going to give a penalty to the Maroons. He's ruled that Stewart was not facing goal.
Well, there's any number of rulings. That's what it is. I don't think he released the football. Well, he did. I'll take that back. But he wasn't facing goal to goal, and he did have a marker.
What to do? Kick for goal. That's right. Good decision.
Andrew G is going off, and it'll be Darren Smith coming on. But Ricky Stewart was appealing, saying that we didn't have a marker, sir, but that makes no difference. You've got to face goal when playing the ball.
In the back of Ricky Stewart's mind, he knew it was the last tackle. He's normally the man that is the first receiver to drive the kick down. Are you surprised here, Paul, that Julian O'Neill is kicking and not Meninga?
No, I think O'Neill's become a half-by regular kicker with the Broncos. He kicks okay.
Half-by regular kicker.
Yeah, well, behind
so he
Terry
does it
Madison.
sometimes.
Sometimes. And Mel, of course, hasn't kicked regularly for the Raiders for quite a few years now.
Well,
so O'Neill's the man.
Darren Smith has gone on, and he's an ideal player to bring off the bench in this situation. A game breaker. He can be solid in defence. There are not too many better players in both attack and defence than Darren Smith. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's the man that breaks what might be a deadlock here after Julian O'Neill's kick. 31 metres out, right in front. He scored the only try, and there goes his kick wide. Didn't get it dead either.
Oh, great play, Eddinghausen. Look at this. He's brought the ball out 15 metres. That changes the course of matches.
Brasher. A great play by Andrew Eddinghausen. He stayed alert, marked the ball, dangling over the dead ball line. A half break for Paul Harrigan. 28 metres out from his line. And as Steve Roach said, I just took particular notice of Harrigan. He is dragging one leg after the other. He's as tired as they come out there. As Stewart puts his kick in, it bounces or doesn't. It's taken on the full by Khan, back on his 30-metre line. Khan making it back within 5 metres of the halfway. Walters. Now Darren Smith with his first touch of the ball. Darren Fritz, this big giant of a man who we saw in Winfield Cup just a fortnight ago. He's to come on. Fritz, of course, from the Illawarra club, and he was most impressive in that match against Penrith. So there they are, 40 metres out, the Maroons, still trailing by 2. A Langer with a kick and chase, and then a rebound, and a chance has gone begging.
Oh, Glenn Lazarus got a timely hand in there. So too Tim Brasher. We mentioned the short kicking game of Alan Langer. It nearly cracked this game wide open. If this gets past Brasher, it's a try. So Tim Brasher did a great job. So too here Glenn Lazarus, because if that pass had have stuck, probably almost a try again.
Well, it still well may be a try coming up for the Maroons, because they've got the feed. The scrum is just inside the 20-metre line. Langer offloading for Walters. They go across for Renouf, and then Walters backs him up. Tries to go through the gap. He's 15 metres out, Kevin Walters. Steve Renouf has gone into dummy half. Darren Smith in looking for work. He's the freshest of the Queenslanders. 10 metres out from the line, almost in the centre of the park. Larson off his right foot, standing and looking to unload, but couldn't get it away.
Oh, very slow up, Paul Harrigan off the line.
Across now for Langer, and then it's pushed on, and they've knocked on. And it's a knock-on against New South Wales as well, but they'll get the feed.
Well, they had the overlap there, Queensland. The pass from Meninga looked a little bit hard, whether it was supposed to be a cutout pass, as Fritz comes on, gets his big chance in Origin footy. Let's have a look at this pass from Mel. The numbers are on here. They got 3 on 2. Oh, simple pass. It just Billy Moore should have choked on that one.
Gary Belcher for a sideline comment.
Yeah, Darren Fritz is on for Trevor Gilmeister. I reckon it's a good ploy by Wally Lewis here, bringing him on with only 17 minutes to go. Plenty of New South Wales forwards are looking tired. The big fella can run the footy.
And Wally Lewis has shown his experience. He's let these players stay out there until the last 15 minutes in the game. This could be the change in the game.
They certainly have sent a couple of very strong runners into the game. And Darren Fritz and Darren Smith. And they're out there now, and New South Wales are going to have to try and repel them. That's one of the reasons Gillespie has been sent into the game. Just inside the 30-metre point, and now Benny Elias is beyond it. Running onto it is Harrigan. Tries to fend off Larson. Unsuccessful on the 5th tackle. Elias looking for his kicker. Finds Stewart. Stewart keeps it low and drives it down to the Queensland 20-metre line. O'Neill coming away and pulled down by Stewart and also McGregor, but he's able to take the play 35 metres away from his own line. This is Fritz, hit with a big tackle by McGregor up high. Barnhill and Mackay went in to help. Steve Walters away now, and Hancock it is, running into Lazarus and Mackay, and they're down to the halfway line.
And Hancock, more than any other wing out there, is prepared to come in and take some of the workload off. I think that's got to apply to the other three wingers. With the tired defence in the middle of the ruck, that's maybe where the speed men can come in and take advantage. Hancock really has spent a lot of time in there in this second half.
64 minutes of the match gone, and still it's New South Wales by 2 points. It seems like an age ago since Harrigan scored that try for them. As they kick now, the Maroons, they should find the line. Well, it's starting to straighten up, and Brasher, he has to go away. And chasing him is Big Fritz. He's away from him. Larson rides him into the ground, 20 metres out from his own line. Passed away for Graham Mackay now.
Well, the North Sydney pair for Queensland, Billy Moore and Gary Larson, have worked the place down. 31 tackles for Moore, 29 for Larson. And they've done 28 hit-ups between them. Workaholics.
Gillespie trying to improve the position of the football for the Blues. Gary Belcher on the sidelines.
Walters limping off here. Trevor Gilmeister straight back on the field. He's got some sort of ankle injury. I don't think we'll see him back here tonight.
So a blow for Queensland there, but Julian O'Neill comes back, answering another bomb from New South Wales, or a midfield kick. Barnhill making the tackle with Mackay. They are raking up plenty of tackles, these two from St George. Now Hancock tries to break them, 40 metres out from his own line.
Numbers to the right, Queensland, if they can just promote the ball properly. Langer sees that they have and goes through.
Langer gets in behind them, Meninga chimes in, calls Khan inside, and great defence.
Oh, Fittler. Brad Fittler has come across with a great tackle there. Alan Langer did marvellous work on the inside to get Meninga into space. There you see the dummy on the outside, the step. It turned Fittler around, but he recovered magnificently. Meninga calling for Khan to come inside, and Fittler a show of strength to head over the sideline.
27 tackles in the game for Brad Mackay, and David Barnhill, who came on at half-time, has made 15 tackles already.
And now Julian O'Neill has just limped from the footy field. Look at him go up the tunnel there. Mark Coyne has gone on. Willie Khan drops back to fullback.
Barnhill tackled about 8 metres on the Blues side of the halfway. Well, on the barometer of injuries, Queensland have now had a couple of their stars taken from the field. Ben Elias passes for Lazarus. Lazarus up the centre and put away by Darren Smith. Elias, Stewart, Fittler, Daly out wider. He's the chaser. He's the leader. He got the ball back. He got inside the 20. Now Brad Mackay. He'll score. New South Wales a try. Fittler and Daly, they landed it on.
Well, the kicking game was always going to be so important. Wally Lewis not impressed. The big question that needs to be asked was Laurie Daly onside. The kick from Fittler, he went to the line. He got the little one through. Daly got the bounce. Let's have a look. This should show it up perfectly. Fittler comes to the line. Daly on the outside, no doubt whatsoever. That's a fair try. Daly gets the ball straight through Willie Khan. He's got support inside and out, but Brad Mackay, well, I said that Brad Clyde was going to be a big loss to this side. Brad Mackay has done absolutely nothing wrong tonight.
Yeah, great experience shown by Fittler. Little left foot kick. And in the end, Brad Mackay, he came on as a replacement. He replaced Brad Clyde only 2 days ago into the team. He's had a massive game, Brad Mackay. He's been everywhere. Well deserves the try.
So 12 minutes to go, and New South Wales with a try for Brad Mackay. 10 points to 4, and Phil Gould, a relieved coach. Not over yet, though, Peter Sterling.
No, Hail King Laurie. He's busted them apart. Ironic to think that Queensland's best chance in this half probably came from the short kick of Alan Langer. If he could have towed that past Tim Brasher, I think that Queensland scored the try there.
McGregor comes from the field. Chris Johns has gone on. And it was ironic that Fittler, who plays in the number 6 shirt quite often, just switched around with Daly for that play that provided the try. Daly was on the outside. He was the runner. Fittler was the man engineering, and Graham Mackay adds the extras. The Blues lead 12 points to 4. We're back in a moment. 69 minutes of the game gone. New South Wales 12 points to 4. 8 points in advance of Queensland. About 10 and a half minutes exactly to go. Game played at a furious pace. Heavy tackling, players out on their feet, and Stewart lobbing this ball down to the 20-metre line for Willie Kahn, who's back at fullback now, bringing it out to the 40-metre line.
Low possession is all important in this last 10 minutes. I do think that Queensland will have plenty of it. The plan for New South Wales has got to be to play it down this end of the field. And Stewart at times may not wait till the 6th. He doesn't want to be put under pressure and get one charge down and hand over cheap possession. Darren Smith comes out of dummy half. So they'll have some opportunities, Queensland.
Martin Bella preparing to come back into the game as Darren Fritz crosses the halfway line. Langer. Can Queensland come back from this? Meninga's pass was knocked down by the Blues, and it's a penalty to Queensland.
Yes, we'll rake the ball out, Graham Mackay. Let's have a look. Meninga going across to Kahn. Well, that can't be a penalty.
No, luck there for Queensland. First of all, Mackay was the first man to touch the football, so he never raked it out. Queensland never had possession of it, really.
Well, he's applied the rule of raking the ball out or stealing the ball when attempting a tackle, but Mackay was doing anything other than attempting a tackle. Interesting point in the game. Darren Fritz takes it to within 22 metres of the line. A converted try for Queensland right about now, and we've got one hell of a finish. 20 metres out from the line. Gilmeister can't handle it. Stewart scurries away. The Blues find a gap. Chris Johns is out to the 40-metre line. So Queensland with a good opportunity, and they've let it go. Eddinghausen is tackled now. The Blues keeping it as safe as they can. And Stewart not prepared to take chances with the passes. Sterlo has emphasised he may kick on the early tackles. Gillespie is right on the halfway mark. 8 points in advance, New South Wales of Queensland, and 2 tries to 1. 8 minutes to go. Last tackle for the Blues, and Stewart has really had a superb game. That kick not up to his usual high standards.
Just on that kicking game, I think it would be a good ploy for Ben Elias to take over some responsibility from dummy half. There's no doubt the markers for Queensland are going to be going through. Big tackle from Harrigan front on to put pressure on Stewart. Elias in the perfect position to kick with everybody being onside.
Martin Bella goes charging up towards the 40-metre line. And Darren Smith is in a dummy half. Scoops it away for Kevin Walters and Mal Meninga and Steve Renoff to try and improve, and they've lost it.
Oh, great tackle, Laurie Daly. The defensive efforts of both 3 quarters out there for New South Wales and Queensland has been superb. That's the kind of defence we've seen all night. Nothing asked for, nothing given.
Paul Sheridan back on the sideline. 20 tackles in the game. And how many hit-ups? 12 hit-ups. And he played a very strong part in the game. At a vital time for New South Wales. Graham Mackay, 39 metres out from the line, scrums at 8 all. Brad Mackay, who scored the other New South Wales try. Paul Harrigan one, Mackay the other. They're inside the 30-metre line. Stewart directing the play again for Barnhill. And David Barnhill with nowhere to go. Just outside the 20-metre line, Gillespie goes up. David Gillespie, one of the old brigade that was showing the loyalty of selectors. Fittler, he's 18 metres out. And this is the last tackle. It goes across for Stewart to put the bomb into the far corner. No pressure really for Queensland's Willie Kahn.
No, great take by Kahn, so Queensland's still alive with 5.5 minutes remaining. Still a chance, maybe.
Really not a bad result for New South Wales there. The last thing they want to do is to give Willie Kahn any space in open territory. At least a 20-metre tap allows your defence to be set. That's the second gone now, 38 out.
Darren Smith struggling to play the ball, and they get it up to the halfway line through Michael Hancock. Queensland desperate for a converted try, but even that would bring them 2 points short of the New South Wales title. Here goes Alfie Langer, and he's inside the 30-metre line. Billy Moore a dummy half as Queensland go across the field. And it's over there with Khan. He gets it away, and it's with Walters now. Kevin Walters back for Steve Renoff. Renoff, he's dancing inside the 20-metre line. Meninga gets it away. Khan, it comes back across the park, and Willie Khan gets the try. Willie Khan got the try. It was Coyne on the far side of the ground. He played an important part, but none more important than Mal Meninga.
And here come the Maroons, surging back. A brilliant try this. They found the space out wide. There's plenty of defence there. Just the interchange of passing. That's where the gaps came. Beautiful ball off the ground by Khan to Walters. Gets through half a gap. Good ball to Renoff. And then Mal put the foot down. He hasn't run enough tonight for mine. He runs now. Sets up Coyne. The inside ball, no defence there. And Willie Khan finishes it off.
Yeah, the fact that Kevin Walters was able to get the ball away in so much traffic was the important pass. This is it here. He's got plenty of defence in front of him. Daly, Fittler, still able to turn and swivel. Steve Renoff does the same, and all of a sudden Meninga's in space. Conversion attempt is successful. 4 minutes to go, 12-8 New South Wales in front of Queensland, 12-10 now. As we see the try here, scored adjacent to the post, Willie Khan. They're back in at the Maroons.
12-10 back in a moment. New South Wales then by 2 points as we welcome you back. The final segment, the final chapter of State of Origin 1. 4 minutes under that to go. The clock stopped. Harrigan says start it now. Brad Mackay to restart this final part of the game. It's the deep kick. And Queensland trailing by 2. Coyne, 8 metres out from his own line. The try line, 85 metres away for Queensland. Langer, Fritz, Lazarus meets him with Elias. Langer, Hone, beyond the 30-metre line. That's their 4th tackle. Langer again, Walters taken by Brad Mackay and also Gillespie. And now the kick will come. They're 40 metres out from their line, or will they put it through the hands? They go for the ladder, then the kick. Off Mal Meninga's boot. Brasher is back on his 20-metre line.
And we had a couple of players outside him, Mal Meninga, as Renoff comes up and grabs Brasher. Thought they should have run the football. He had 2 men unmarked on the outside. New South Wales had overread the situation. Brasher's hurt himself in that tackle. 2 minutes 40 left on the clock. The ball is now all important. Brasher still getting to his feet.
12-10, and in the last 12 State of Origin games, there's never been more than 12 points between New South Wales and Queensland at the end, and this is not going to be an exception. Daly playing at 38 metres out from his own line. The New South Wales captain, he knows there's just 2 minutes left on the clock. David Barnhill, Elias using Stewart, and Stewart with the grubbing kick finding it 33 metres out from the line.
And it all wastes time. The ball over the sideline. The clock continues. Under 2 minutes now. They won't be in any hurry to get to this scrum formation, the New South Wales pack. As Tim Brasher, some sort of leg problem, like an ankle injury, he knew straight away that he was in trouble. This is the last throw of the dice for the Maroons.
These two sides, of course, move on to Melbourne in around a fortnight. Of course, in between that, we have the club championship, Brisbane and Wigan. And then, of course, the last State of Origin at Lang Park. 30 metres out from their own line. Queensland A long, long way to go to either snatch victory or snatch a draw. Coyne at the 79th minute is tackled. Trailing 12-10. Langer pushing it wide. Walters onward. Khan joins in. Floats the pass for Renouf. Renouf down the touchline. Beats one. Gets it in field. Hancock gets it on. Queensland are coming back. Darren Smith for Langer. Langer gets it away. Here's the big fella. Gets the pass on. Coyne goes for the corner and gets the try. Queensland, it's a miracle performance.
Oh, yeah! What about that one? Sterlo!
Unbelievable. What about that from Queensland? They can't believe it. Unbridled joy on the sideline, and why not?
That's not a try, that's a miracle. Queensland are in front now, and 14-12.
The back line combining with their forwards. What about this? Great work here from Willie Khan, keeping the ball to Renouf. The acceleration of Renouf down the sideline. Great support play from Michael Hancock on the inside. Langer will come into it soon. First, who's that? Darren Smith. What's he doing there? Alan Langer. That pass from Meninga to Mark Coyne. Fittler's across there, valiantly trying to keep him out. So too, Stuart. Coyne reaches out.
It's never in doubt, was it?
What
The Queenslanders, they will never say die, and they proved it again here tonight. A massive, brilliant try to finish it off. They've won the match. It's all over.
14-12, and Mal Meninga takes the attempt at conversion. Look at this. It's a beauty. Queensland 16-12, and King Wally goes down to meet his Warriors. And look at the face on Mal Meninga, the highest point scorer in State of Origin. He was there in Game 1 in 1980, and he's led the Maroons to a miracle victory here. Superb effort. They've come from 12-4 down with about 10 minutes to go, then 12-10 down with a minute to go, and they've won 16-12. He hits it, he's got it!